The start of a new year. We made it through holiday break and welcome back to the real world. It's like the biggest Monday of all time, the very first Monday of the year. And on this edition of the Idea Collective Live, we're going to cheer you on if you're starting something up or trying to scale something this year. Because on today's ICL, we're going to share the story of a local founder and check out his new virtual conferencing software. We'll talk with Benny Pekala and see the new Virtual United platform. We're going to ask him, most importantly, about the origin of his startup and some of the challenges that he and the team have faced along the way and what it's like to start up a new company nowadays. Maybe he can share some insights that will help you as you're building your company in 2021. Welcome to the Idea Collective Live. This is the weekly meeting of the small business community. I'm Pat Miller, the Idea Coach. Glad you're here. So we're live on the Idea Collective YouTube page, and that is our home. So if you're on our YouTube page, make sure that you hit subscribe and click that little bell, and you'll get notified every time we go live on Mondays at 3, and all of the other small business content that we're going to create on this channel. Also, if this conversation sounds like something you'd like the rest of your network to hear about, click that share button no matter what platform you're on, be it Facebook or LinkedIn, Twitter, Twitch, or YouTube. We'd appreciate sending this message far and wide to help out the small business conversation and the community. No matter where you're tuning in from, our chat function is live across the board. So you can click into the chat, say hello, let us know that you're listening, and weigh in with questions that you might have, because that's the fun of this show. As we broadcast live, more and more people will see that we're live and encourage us to ask some questions and engage. So drop into the chat and get active. Thanks to our sponsors, Bank 59 and Serendipity Labs, and of course, the Idea Collective for small business owners. One other special feature today, we have another company to announce, brand new, announced today. We'll hear about them and see their hype reel. And every month, we share the most engaged members of the Idea Collective, and we have the results for the #1 Idea Collective member in December. We will share that during the show. Big shout out to JB. She's running the show behind the boards. Thank you, JB, for always being there for us. We appreciate it. We couldn't do this show without you. All right, so let's get on with it, shall we? Benny Pekala, co-founder of Virtual United. Welcome to the show, brother. How was your holiday break? Did you get some time off at all?
Holiday break was incredibly relaxing. I spent a lot of time outdoors, just taking some time away.
Yeah. Every time we talk to you, you're in a different part of the country. So where are you now?
I'm taking my winter down in Austin, Texas. It's my first time in Texas, and it's wonderful. I like it a lot.
Taking my winter. Now, you took your summer. Where were you? Were up north someplace?
I spent a month in Montana, and I spent a month back home in Minneapolis, although I was in Madison all the way up until the middle of August. So I spent most of the summer there.
Well, you're an international man of mystery. You're everywhere. But it's great to have you on Idea Collective Live today. So we're talking about this new piece of software, Virtual United. Now, let's talk about the story to get to the launch and about the product itself. But just so everyone knows what it is, what is Virtual United?
Virtual United is a virtual event platform designed for networking. So we've really given attendees the ability to move freely and network their way at virtual events.
So in the virtual space, it kind of feels more like a real live event, like I can go over here and talk to this person. That's kind of the concept.
Absolutely. And when we talk about the origin, we'll come back to that. But we really did want to recapture that ability to kind of scan the room and be in charge of who you're talking to and where you're spending your time.
Very cool. So before we get into the software, I want to talk about the backstory, because everyone that's built their own thing, we go into bumps in the road. And if we're starting something new, maybe you can save some people some pain or make them some money by sharing some things that you learned along the way. So let's start here. Virtual United. Is this the first piece of software that you developed?
Actually, it's not. No. So my origin up until Virtual United is I started my own company out of college. Me and a good friend of mine decided we wanted to build apps and websites, and we wanted to work for ourselves. So my first endeavor was Birdwell Solutions. And we built mobile apps for a variety of clients, but also for ourselves. And so this is kind of my first time really being able to focus on one product, which has been exceptional, but not my first rodeo.
So what is that like to be focused? Has that made you more effective? Have you gotten bored? I mean, what's it like to only have one thing to worry about?
It's wonderful. And yeah, I would say that it's really let me channel my energy better. Being focused as a business owner, especially if you wear multiple hats, can be challenging at times. And so being able to say, hey, this is what I do. This is what I'm passionate about. This is what you'll catch me doing from 9 to 5 every day of the week. That's what's been amazing.
If you have an entrepreneurial mind, ideas come to you all the time. I'm sure a lot of us have notebooks full of ideas. Do you remember getting the idea for this? What was it like, and how did you know this is something you should pursue?
Yeah, so the original genesis, I will give credit to my co-founder, Benjamin Hansen. His impetus kind of was while he was organizing an event for Capital Entrepreneurs, which is a Madison area entrepreneur organization, and just realizing that he couldn't find any platforms he liked. And then kind of on that note, it was actually, I remember a moment when we were on the phone. It was about 12:30 at night. I was at Novel Co-working in Madison, and I remember we just went on a tear. We were just like, we just took the idea, we ran with it. And I remember leaving the office at like 2 a.m. and saying, this is going to happen. And that was a really good feeling.
Is there any better feeling than that when you come up with something, you're like, oh, this is awesome. So did you get to sleep that night, or were you just up making notes the whole time?
Who knows? I don't remember. I think so.
Yeah. Oh, that's great. So, all right. So you got this idea, and you and Benjamin, you were collaborating with him. So it's like, all right, so what did you do next? Like, I'm sure you had some like notes on paper, but how did you actually get the company started?
Yeah. And once again, I'll go back and really give the credit to Ben. He did an incredible job at putting together our first kind of pitch deck, putting together the basic business structure and the basic, the company structure, all the nuts and bolts, and then some. He really pioneered our early vision. And so then it was a matter of saying, all right, we've got all of this written out. Well, what does the product look like? Or how do we start building? Where do we start? And so that was really when we started talking to people and getting a sense of it. But yeah, Ben did a great job putting together the wireframes, putting together the slide decks, giving us that first starting point for where we could launch into the future.
Now, maybe this is a software kind of question, because I've never launched a piece of software before. Do you have to get funding and proof of concept before you go build something, or do you have to build a minimum viable product and then go try to get the funding? I mean, what is it like? How did the process go for you?
That's a great question. I would say every company does it differently, but for the most part, having an MVP, having something where you're listening to your customers is really the most important first step. So for us, that meant, all right, now that we've got this sketched out, before we go get funding, before we go, invest ourselves and really get into the fun parts, let's make sure that we're not crazy, right? Let's put this in front of the people that we think, want it, and hear it in their words, right? Let them tell us what they want. Let them tell us this. And that really helped drive us far. And I would absolutely recommend it to anyone starting software, which is don't build it until you've talked to your potential customers, until your potential customers have said, I am willing to pay for this. And if they don't say that, then you should revise it and go back to the drawing board a little bit.
So did you have any assumptions that you thought were going to be killer parts? Like, oh, we're going to do this and everyone's going to love it. And your customers were like, nah, I don't want that.
I would say the most notable one was we wanted to do a proximity feature where depending on how close you were, your voice would be louder or quieter.
Mm-hmm.
And it was kind of cool. It was cool technology. It's still cool technology. Who knows? Maybe we'll come back to it. But yeah, there was kind of crickets as far as helping that drive a real business value.
Yeah, that is cool. I like building cool stuff like, oh, this is going to be great. Then people are like, whatever. What about something that someone gave you that you hadn't thought of, but when you talked to one of your customers, they gave you an idea that is now in the finished product? Can you think of anything?
Yeah, a big one. So I owe this one to the Brookfield Chamber, specifically. Yeah, a lot of.
Shout out.
So originally, we had our product laid out so that on one page there was all of the people in the room, and on the other page there were the people you were talking to at the time. And so if you wanted to kind of pop your head out and look around, you'd have to click a button and switch tabs. And they were just, a number of people, and Brookfield Chamber was incredibly helpful in many ways, but we're just like, this is confusing. This just, we can't, we don't like this. And we took that to heart and made that change. And if you've used Virtually United Sense, you can tell that all of it's on one central page. Yeah. And we think it really helps.
Sometimes the best things in a product development are the things that don't happen. Looking back on it now, is there someone you were asking for money from, or a feature that you thought you were going to include, or just something that you were hoping to happen that didn't, and in hindsight, you're glad it didn't? Can you think of anything?
Yeah, I think we really wanted to get in a lot of video features like screen sharing and virtual backgrounds and these things that we still want to build, but would have taken us a lot more time. And so when the engineering team, when everybody came back and said, hey, this isn't, we're not going to be able to launch on time if we do this, we were originally like, darn it. But now looking back, it was the greatest thing, because instead of having them ready right out of the box, we've been able to listen to people, and they've said, this is what I want. This is how it should work. And now when we're coming back and doing these things in 2021, we're doing them a whole lot better than we would have had we rushed them out the door and tried to get them ready before.
It's a great big takeaway. Talk to your customers while you're building, because you'll save yourself a lot of heartache, and you'll probably add some stuff you hadn't thought of. So it's a really good piece of advice. What were some of the other challenges that you faced? Any big ones that really slowed your growth, or things you're still trying to figure out?
Yeah, I wouldn't say there's been any enormous bottlenecks. We've been really blessed to have really supportive community, as well as some really brilliant people advising us and giving us suggestions. That being said, we're a completely virtual company. In fact, I haven't even met one of my co-founders in person. She lives in San Francisco.
Wait a minute. Wait. Time out. How many people are in the company? 4?
There's 4 of us, yeah.
And there's one of them you've never met in person?
Correct. And then one of them that we've only met once, briefly in person.
Wow. And it's not a big deal, or is that a big deal?
Not a big deal. So, I mentioned it as a challenge because it's been new for us, right? Mm-hmm. Like company happy hours, right? Being really intentional about the time that we spend not working, right? Because you don't get that kind of water cooler, or like, hey, let's go grab a beer afterwards. You don't get that. So we've had to be intentional about it. But honestly, I don't even notice it. And I'd say that it has definitely empowered us. And I mean, that's why I'm able to be down here headed south. So it's been a blessing.
So it's neat to talk about the new piece of software, and we'll show it here in a minute, but I'm spending as much time as we can talking about the construction of the company, because it's interesting to me, and I think it might be helpful to others. So if you have a question about starting a company or some of the challenges that Benny and the team faced, drop them in the chat and we'll include you inside the interview and the conversation, because we've got someone right here that just went live with their company. It's kind of exciting. So if there's a question you'd like to ask Benny, put it in the chat. And we'll include it here. So looking back on it, is there anything that you wish you would have done differently? Like something that didn't quite go as you planned?
That's a good question. I would say that I wish we had launched even earlier. So, we launched a product, and there were still some rough edges. But what we learned was that we could have gone even rougher. We could have done it even sooner than that and let people start using it even before then. So if anything, even though we did a very good job, I'm really proud of our team for having the courage to launch our product when we did. We could have done it sooner. And that's a good lesson moving back to say, even if you don't think it's working, even if you don't think there's some bugs. Let the customers tell you that, right? Don't listen to your own kind of nagging voice that says, wait, no, don't listen to that. Just let the customers say, and then that, you know, you might be onto something if they say that. But if no one says it, then there you go. You launch at the right time.
It's a very good point, and it's something that I'm trying to do too, which is build in the open. I mean, today we're going to do instant networking and put people on the air just to hear what they're like and tell their story on the air to see if it's a proof of concept, like if it works. And I don't know if it's going to work or not, but you know, it's something that we're doing on the fly as we try and build Idea Collective Live and the Idea Collective in general. So going back to why you didn't launch earlier, was there one of the four of you that was refusing to launch, or you just didn't have anything you could have launched?
It was really that we thought that it was broken. We thought that, you know, without this feature, people wouldn't want to join, and, you know, they might think it's, you know, they might get turned away too soon. So no, it was really our own inner voice. And
yeah,
so I'm glad we overcame it and launched when we did.
Yeah, so hard to overcome the inner voice, right? Because sometimes that's the one that we don't listen to, which sounds interesting. Michael Rampolla has a great question. What's the most counterintuitive, paradoxical thing? Ooh, is that like a sparkle word for Michael there, paradoxical, that you learned or did along the way?
Yeah, I think my big one is I don't like to really do any sales calls. You know, whenever I'm kind of selling, right, or I just like to meet people and to just talk, you know, and let the product kind of speak for itself, and these things speak for themselves. I had a lot of people that were like, you should rehearse it. You should watch yourself do it and really make sure you're saying every word perfectly, you know, and it's coming across perfect. And I'm like, you know what?
Right.
I can always come back to that method. But for now, I've had a lot of success just being myself and just talking, you know, and so that'd be the one is I don't like to think of any of my calls as sales calls, even when there is a sale to be made.
Well, and you do a great job of that. For what it's worth, you have a great personality of really genuinely wanting to get to know people, understand what their problems are. That's the heart of sales anyway, right? Finding out what their needs are and solving those problems, and you're going to make some money. Eric Clark wants to know, how focused on revenue were you at the startup? And in the process, did you focus on it or figure it out as you went?
Yeah, I'd say not that focused is the short answer. We absolutely ran our projections. We continue to run our projections, you know, plan future focused, right? You know, like making sure we're planning for success. That being said, we know there's a long way to go. And we know that we're not going to be profitable, even in our best projections, for a little bit of time. And so instead of saying, hey, let's make sure we're going from, you know, doubling the revenue, we would like to double the people that are happy with our product, right? We'd like to double the testimonials, double the case studies. And so that's really where we've focused some, you know, those metrics, and we're still focused on revenue, but we've taken revenue, we've taken it a step back and said, well, what is it that builds revenue? And it's people that really love the product. It's results, you know, driving results and ROI. And so that's where we've really sunk our metrics into.
What's it like to run a company that isn't going to be profitable for that long? Like, does that play with your mind at all to know, like, yeah, we're going to lose money for quite a while, but someday it's going to turn? Is that a different frame of mind than what other people think about?
It is definitely difficult. And, you know, it's I try never to speak for others, but I would say that the tricky thing is knowing that there may come a time when I'll have to get another job and we'll have to continue on, right? We may run out of gas. And that's, no, like, you know, I didn't need to say that. It's not going to happen, right? But other than that, it really is inspiring, right? Because it's like there's so much potential out there. There's so much of a future that the product has that, you know, and we get to grow together, right? I get to grow as the product grows, as the team grows. And so even though that, you know, there's that, yeah, that voice is like, well, you know, it's like, nah, it's easy to brush aside and say, no, this is fun. You know, it's fun coming from behind, right? It's fun being being the underdog almost in that revenue sense. So it drives us more than anything else.
Well, yeah. And it gives you like a deadline, like, wow, we got 3 months of runway left. I better get selling, right? I don't want to go get a job. Nobody wants a job. That'd be terrible. Consuela wants to know, what was the most exciting part of the launch for you?
It really was seeing my community come out. I I've a lot of people that I really look up to, a lot of people that I enjoy hanging out with, enjoy spending time with. Definitely a bunch of people who had listened to me talk about it a bunch. And all I could have hoped was that those people came, and they really did. And so seeing those people, I had high school friends coming. I had people that I used to work with, people that I had just seen that same day, just the whole community coming together, and it was incredible, and the feedback we heard was also really, really great. But really just that ability to see, yeah, we're not alone in this. We've got a whole, roster of amazing human beings that are helping us push this forwards. That felt amazing.
Still on today's Idea Collective Live, we're going to run down the top 5 members of the Idea Collective based on December metrics, because we're data driven. I'm very high tech around here. We're also going to share the launch of another company happening today, a brand new media company that's amazing. So we'll hear from them and hear their hype reel. We're also going to do some instant networking. So we're going to allow some folks the chance to come on the screen and tell us what they do and what we can do for them and what they can do for us. And then we will do the after party on Zoom, where we get a chance to talk with Benny and talk with everybody on the call and just kind of get to know each other. So lots to come up on today's Idea Collective Live as we talk with Benny Pekala, co-founder of Virtual United. So Benny, let's turn our attention to the platform for a little bit. What is it the best in the world at?
Cocktail parties. Put it right there. So really recreating that feeling of, let's just have a good time. If I want to talk to you, Pat, I'll talk to you. If not, I'm gonna steer into another room. Right. And being able to laugh and to be authentic. And yeah, in 2 words, it's cocktail parties.
Cocktail parties. You had me at cocktails. I'm there. So it's a chance to mix and mingle in a virtual environment. And that's really cool. So how does it work if I'm interested in using it? Like if I want to do a demo with you, or how do we get to know what it looks like and how it feels?
Yeah. So I know there's a link that maybe could get shared with virtualunited.events /welcome, where you can see a quick little video as well as learn some more about the features. The short answer, though, is you let me know, and I'll give you access to set up a trial event. I'll invite you to some of the events we're throwing that are open to the public. From an organizer perspective, we've worked hard to make it really easy. And what that means is you can set up the event in just a few clicks. I'm here to help you all along the way. And all you need is one link in order to give all of your attendees. There's no download needed. You can join in just a few seconds. So we've really focused on making it streamlined, making it accessible, and easy to use, and also personable. I'll be here the whole way. Our team will be here the whole way to support you, make sure it goes smoothly, and have a great time.
What kind of introductions are you looking for right now? Because you're doing a lot of the sales and networking and getting to know people. So who are you looking to be introduced to? Because the Idea Collective is all about helping each other. So what do you need from us?
Right on. Thank you, Pat. Chambers of Commerce. We really love working with Chambers of Commerce. So anybody involved in event organization or perhaps on a board. And additionally, people who run virtual networking events. So if you've got a favorite virtual networking event, maybe it's this one, right? Or you've got something like that, then we would love to talk to that person. And coming back to what I said before, it's always just an introduction. I'm just, I love what I do, love to talk to people who love what they do. Yeah. If they love to work with us and build a platform together, that'll be great. But just to make more friends and get to know more people in the community.
Well, this could have really easily been, come on, show us the software. What do you have? Goodbye. But the fact that you were willing to pull back the curtain and share some of the development stories, some of the struggles you had along the way, I really appreciate it, because I think you helped out some people that are trying to grow their business today. So thank you so much for coming on. Benny Pekala, Virtual Events, Virtual United rather, virtualunited.events is the website. Check it out. Benny, thanks for coming on, man. We appreciate it.
So happy to be here. Thank you, Pat.
Awesome. My pleasure. All right. So let's move on to the rest of the show. We got a lot to do today. We're going to do our instant networking here in just a minute. So if you would like to, click the link and join the call now, because we want to hear a little bit about what you do for a living and how you can help us and how we can help you. It's basically your chance to do the elevator speech about your business and get some publicity. So click the link that's in the chat right now and join the call. While we get some people lined up to do that, how about we talk about our Idea Collective members of the month? So last month in November, Sam Shah was the number one member in the Idea Collective. And that guy, man, he is so awesome. He is one of our biggest supporters. He was the number one member. But let's go through 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. As far as the most engaged members. Now, engagement in the Idea Collective is all about showing up to help. This is not a place where you show up and just sling stuff and try and give stuff away and make sales. No, Idea Collective, you show up, you help each other, you give, and you get. That's how it works. So the 5 most engaged members in December. Number 5, JB, the showrunner, the ultimate connector, my business BFF. Way to go, JB, making the scoreboard. Number 5. Number 4, the brains of the operation, Mr. Whiteboard himself, Michael Rampolla. Thank you, sir. Number 3, the confidence queen, Consuela Munoz, was number 3. And number 2, the second most engaged member in December, Sam Shah. What? We have an upset. A new number 1 most engaged member in the Idea Collective, Andrea Hubbard, Hub and Company. Andrea, you are the boss. Thank you so much for everything you did to make the Idea Collective a great community in December. If you're curious about the community, we'd love to show it to you. We offer a 2-week free trial. We'd love to give you a VIP behind the scenes tour. Just let me know. All right, let's do some instant networking. And look who it is. It's our man with the whiteboard. What were you, Michael? You were number 4.
Number 4. I was just happy to, what's the line? I just want to be remembered. I'm just happy to be on the list.
You're just happy to be here.
Happy to be here
again, friend. So let's do some networking. Tell us about Spearity and what you do.
Sounds good. All right. So Spearity, we help business owners overcome their obstacles. We work with business owners to help them grow and scale their business. And we work with HR leaders to help them grow and scale their talent. So we help you identify what it is that's holding you back from achieving that greatness that you're striving for. And then we help you celebrate when you get there.
That's awesome. So how can we help you? What do you need from us?
I want to talk to more business owners. We are really looking to help more business owners set up the right plan for 2021. It's not for lack of desire, not for lack of goal setting, not for lack of effort that people aren't accomplishing their goals. It's typically for lack of planning. We find that the number 1 deficiency of leaders is lack of planning, not lack of goals and lack of effort. It's the lack of the plan in the middle. And we happen to be particularly suited at helping you design a plan that will help you achieve those goals.
All right. So if we want to learn more about Spearity, how do we do it?
Go to Spearity.com. You can book a meeting directly with me at Spearity.com/Michael/Zoom30. Anybody wants a 30-minute meeting with me, book anytime.
That's awesome. So number 4, you're not going to let number 4 stand, are you? You can do better than
it's 4. It's a starting place. I'm on the list.
You are on the list. All right, Michael.
I'm coming for you, Consuela. Coming for you.
Yeah, you got to get past Consuela, but those top 2, man, Andrea and Sam, they're
a formidable pair. They are.
They're almost as good as the Bears. They're pretty good. Thank you, Michael. I appreciate it. All right, let's go to Eric Clark, X-Influence. Hello, Mr. Clark. Tell us about what you do.
I'm ready for you this time. Last time I was completely deer in the headlights, but I'm Eric Clark, and I'm with a little startup company here called Exponential Influence. We do one thing that I actually learned that we do is content coaching. We actually help extract content from folks. We have like a script framework, and we'll help you coach all of that out and make it really easy for you. And then we get into the job shop of content creation and doing micro content. So making you look like you're everywhere. That's kind of the goal.
Let's go back to that, though. Content coaching. And you didn't realize that was something you were going to offer, or people were asking it from you because you just hadn't thought to offer it?
Yeah. So I didn't realize when I started this back in August, I didn't realize, or what I thought I was going to do was go to people that already had long form content, i.e. podcast, webinar, keynote, and then just chop it into small pieces and make it beautiful, etc. And then there's a couple folks that didn't have their own content already. So we developed a scripting framework. And now we help populate that scripting framework and fill the content library ourselves. And then we chop up the work that we've created. So it's totally taking a really fun shape. I really enjoy the process.
Awesome. So who are you looking to meet? Who can we introduce you to?
Gosh, that's something that I could probably use some help figuring out. Anybody that's trying to like create a personal brand and get themselves out there, we're trying to create top of mind awareness. So by being omnipresent through content, suddenly you're going to start to see messages come your way that you never thought would from all sorts of different places, which is what's happening as I put my mug out there all over. So, I think realtors are maybe a good fit because they're doing some personal branding, but we can also work with companies too. So anybody that needs some help with content strategy and development.
Yeah, let's talk for a second. You have gone from kind of out there to really out there. You're running the X Influence play right now for yourself. You're really creating a lot of content. What have the results been for you as you've amplified the amount of messages you're sending?
Yeah, so we're on like a volume 6 out of 10 or 11 right now. We still haven't cranked it all the way up, but we're on our way. So there's going to be more to come, but we do treat ourselves as our own client also and put ourselves through the daily content machine, so to speak. And it's been really fun and like crazy. Inside of 1 month, I've been doing it for ourselves, me. And the compounding effect is crescendoing. Something's happening. So
Wow.
It's really pretty neat.
That's great, man. Eric Clark, X Influence. Thank you, my friend. Great to see you. All right, let's go see some more folks that want to do some instant networking. And we've got time for maybe 1 or 2 more calls. So if you want to get in, click the link and we'll include you here real quick. Nicole Schmidt, Reward Strategies, LLC. Howdy, Nicole. How are you today?
I'm good. I'm good. It's great to hear Benny's enthusiasm. I mean, I just, he's got that energy, and I think the passion for what you're doing is going to really make him be so successful. So I'm glad to hear that he's got a lot going on. And frankly, that's why I've gotten into my kind of business too with my reward strategies. I have over 20 years of experience doing HR work in the compensation arena. And so that's what I want to do for organizations, is to help them make sure that they're paying their people fairly, looking at their diverse population, their people of color versus non-people of color, looking at the market data, making sure that we using the tools to be competitive so they can get the right people in the right spots.
Let's talk about comp for a second. A lot of folks that are on the call were small business owners, maybe employ a person or 2 or 3. Are small business owners more frequently underpaying their people or overpaying their people?
Well, they're probably underpaying because they're trying to make a business and they're trying to start it up. So I mean, that's kind of understandable. However, you've got to understand that a lot of people are wearing multiple hats in a small company. They're not just doing secretary work, or they're not just doing accounting. So, if you have those valuable people, even if you are just a couple person office, if you have if you have those people who are valuable to your organization, you might want to just take an eyeball look and see how are you paying them, because you don't want to lose them. They're key to the success of your organization. And
Yeah.
I'm seeing a lot of turn. I'm seeing people move from one job to the next quite a bit now. Things are opening up, and I'm hopeful for 2021 we can get back to work.
Yep.
And so I think it's not a bad idea to kind of assess that, because frankly, you may be underpaying them just to survive, and that's understandable.
Yeah, and replacing someone is so expensive. It's often one of those opportunity costs that we don't think about when we're running our own thing. Can I ask a question about the job market? What is going on right now? Are there a lot of openings, no openings, a lot of people, no people? What's the state of the union right now?
Well, what I'm seeing, and actually even just today, I belong to Tempo. It's a women's organization in metropolitan Milwaukee area. There was like 4 job postings up in that organization, and that organization has maybe 400, 500 people. And so that's like 3 times as many. I mean, maybe there was 1 posting a week in the last couple of weeks, nothing the last 2 weeks because of the holiday. But I am seeing, and on some of my other networking calls, I'm seeing people are landing jobs. So I think there's a need to just keep business going, get those qualified people. And so you don't want to be at risk of losing some of the qualified staff you have.
Yeah, that's great. Well, thanks for taking the extra questions, because it's interesting to me, that topic especially. Now, instant networking is about connecting you with people that you need to meet. So who are you looking to meet with right now that we can introduce you to?
I have experience in financial services and insurance, in manufacturing and global. So if there are people on the call who are looking to assess their staff, their own staff, or if you come in contact with other like they're probably small to mid-sized organizations. Those people who don't have an HR person on staff or don't have a comp person on staff, those would be the ones that I could probably help on a project basis.
That's great. Nicole Schmidt, Reward Strategies. Thank you so much for coming on. We appreciate it. All right, we got time for one more instant networking slot. And just like magic, he's here. Lynn Corazzi, the data magician. Howdy, Lynn. How are you, friend?
Hey, good afternoon, everybody. How are you?
We're great. Thanks for coming on. So tell us about what you do.
What I do, I help small business better understand their financials and get over their fear of numbers. At the end of the day, my objective is to help you improve your financial confidence and make sure that if you're ready to grow and borrow money from a bank, that you're absolutely funding ready.
Yeah, you're talking more and more about confidence. Can you talk about confidence in knowing our numbers and our financials?
Yeah, there's been so many conversations I've had recently where people have actually shared their fear of numbers. And what happens is they get so far away from them whenever there's a question about them, they don't know how to answer them. Or they don't really understand their financials. And I've heard this from everyone, a brand new business owner who said they haven't actually seen a P&L, even though they've been in business for 10 months, or to someone who's been in business for over 20 years that admits, I don't know what my income statement really is supposed to tell me.
Mm-hmm.
Something tells me I'm making lots of money, but I don't even know what I should do with it.
Yeah. So who you're looking to get introduced to right now? How can we help you?
I'm looking forward to meeting those small business owners who really are in that predicament. They know that they should be doing more to better understand their income statement, their cash flow. And my objective is to talk to them. So again, I'll make the same offer that Michael made. If you want to have a quick chat, let's chat for half an hour about what it is that you need to work on and how it may be able to help you if you do get better at it.
That's great. Lynn Corazzi, data magician, data to profit. Thank you so much, my friend. Great to see you. All right. So here's the deal. We've got much more to come here on the Idea Collective Live. We're going to jump off into the after party in just a few moments. So that way, everyone that's been watching the call, we can all get together on a Zoom and just kind of, see how you're doing, take our temperature, maybe break out into small rooms, get to know each other, and reflect on maybe some of the challenges that Benny had as he was building his company, or maybe some of the folks that we've met today during instant networking. We're also going to, in just one moment, talk about our next Idea Collective Night School with Sarah Bauer from Heartland Payment Systems. So we'll give you information on that in just a moment. But this is not just a startup story we're telling today. We had a startup happen today, as in today. Welcome to the call, the folks from Antidote Media Group. Andy Weins, James. Hi, guys. How are you?
How are you?
How's it going?
Great to see you two today. So break the news. It's a big deal today, Andy.
This is as simple as I can make it. The last 2+ years, 5 years of running businesses, the last 2 years, I've been making a lot of noise on social media, and I've surrounded myself with some amazing people to make all that noise, right? I'm loud and obnoxious, but someone's got to do the mic and the camera and the lights and all the fancy stuff. So I've built an amazing team the last 2 years that have made me and our businesses look amazing. And now we realize that there's a great opportunity to bring that team to everybody, because there's a lot of content out there that is boring. It is repetitive. It's the same. It's not dynamic. So that's what we've done. Antidote Media Group is the cure to boring content. Tess James, who is my better half, for those of you that have had the pleasure to meet her, she is the babysitter of Andy Weins Monday through Friday. So Tess, she's going to talk a little bit about what Antidote is, what they do, and why they're amazing.
Yeah. Thank you so much. I'm so flattered. Well, if you know Andy at all, you know Andy's catchphrase is do the fucking thing.
It's true.
And working under him, all four of us were just like, okay, I guess we have to do the fucking thing too, right? So Antidote saw an issue, and the issue was, okay, we're all making video content. People need video content, but there's one thing missing. You come in, you show up, and you don't have to worry about a thing. You have VIP service right there beside you, helping make everything happen. And you get an end product that looks amazing, that people love, and you're happy with. So
that's it.
We're super excited.
And we've been very fortunate so far to have people within the Idea Collective as some of our founding members.
Yeah.
So Roger, his video was released about a week and a half ago. So Roger is one of our founding members. I won't tell you who else because I'll wait for them to release their own stuff and announce it. But we've been very fortunate with the partnership so far with the Idea Collective. And Antidote really came from a need. How do we create dynamic content in a world that is going more and more virtual?
Right.
Antidote's first case study was launching Young Guns TV. YGTV was an idea by the Young Guns. Oh, there it is, YGTV Coffee Mug, right? Was an idea from Young Guns and came to life with what is the team now known as Antidote.
Right.
So if you've seen anything from Young Guns, from inception, that is this team. So there's a lot of stuff that they've been doing behind the scenes, and now it's an opportunity for them to come out and show their true talent because they're amazing people. And I wouldn't be here today without what they've done for me personally and our brands over the last 2+ years.
Yeah, so high quality content, VIP service. Tess is in charge of customer relationships and making sure that VIP service happens. Also, someone that is inside the Idea Coach community, Andrew Zell is the creative director. So can you talk about Zell and the others on the team, because it's not just Tess?
Simplest way to put it is Tess and the Boys. That was actually the first name of the company, was Tess and the Boys.
Written on the whiteboard.
Written on the whiteboard.
From inception.
There we go. Zell is an amazing creative director. He's done a graphic design. He's done a graphic design work for quite a few people here. Lunch with Lori. You've seen his logo. That was product of Andrew Zell.
Yeah.
So he's done some work for Pat Miller, done some work for other people. Evan Bobby Brown is the director of photography. And if you've ever been anywhere around me, he is the larger-than-life personality shooting behind the camera. But his vision has brought a lot of things together, including Pat Miller's video when Pat Miller became the Idea Coach and the Idea Collective. So the Idea Coach video shot in the High Life Theater was put on by Evan Bobby Brown. And then we got Ken, I can never pronounce his last name, Kojos. Anyways, we named Ken Kenjamin because it was simpler for me to remember. So Kenjamin is the quiet guy behind the camera. He does all the editing, so he's edited all the Young Gun TV episodes over the last 6 months.
The Night Ninja,
Kenjamin Kuhos the third, as we call him. So we have an amazing team that have great individual talents, and we've been fortunate to bring the team together, like Avengers, Justice League, depending on Marvel or DC universe you live in. It's like that. And I don't know where I don't know. I just say the words. I say the words and put myself on camera.
Do the fuck.
That's right. I got people. I know people.
All right, so we can talk about how great this team is all day long, but seeing the proof of concept is everything. So we're going to put you guys on mute for a second. And how about we share, this is the hype reel for Antidote Media Group.
Boom. Tess and I were talking the whole time. We're like, I love this shot. I love that shot. Like, right? We're excited. That's it. We're so excited that we're finally able to tell the world what we do because we've just been
I can't keep secrets, and I've been keeping a secret for 2 months.
But we're also proud of the work that we've done over the last 2 years. And a lot of times when you're doing work for other people, as we know, you don't get to enjoy it. You're like, oh, here's the thing. And then they go and, put it out there, especially when you're creating media for people. It's exciting.
Yeah.
We join them on their journey. And now it's really exciting that we get to share all that.
Yeah.
Well, it's exciting. AntidoteMG.com. We dropped that link inside the chat. So if you want to learn more, and if you want to learn about how you can use that talented group to make you look cooler, I get to be a part of the picture, which is kind of fun. So I'm idea coaching for your peeps, which is kind of cool. So it's kind of a package deal. We're excited about doing it. And welcome, Tess and the boys. Andy, congratulations. And I'm also very excited that you get a new shirt now.
I do. I finally got a new shirt. I got a new shirt, old hat, same hat, great mustache, all the good looks. And I'm going to do something that doesn't happen here too often. I'm going to plug the idea coach himself, Mr. Pat Miller. Pat came to us in October. We were at a point like everybody else in 2020 that said, what do we do next? And Pat, this was as much Pat's idea.
Yeah.
It was our idea. So Pat, you don't get plugged enough. I said last time in the Friday Finish Line, we wouldn't be here without you. And we wouldn't be here doing this with these dope red lights if not for Pat Miller taking the time, coming in as our advisor and taking this concept to a launch. So Pat, today is just as much a celebration for you as it is for the team. So thank you, sir.
Pat.
Thank you. It's my pleasure. When you got such talented raw materials, it's exciting to build something new. So congratulations to you both. Thanks for letting me be a part of it. And we'll definitely talk more about it during the after party inside the Idea Collective. So we're going to jump off to that in just 1 second. So grab that link that's on the screen right now. We'll also drop it inside the chat so you know where to go. But let's talk for a second about the next exciting Idea Collective event. That is Idea Collective Night School. So Night School, the concept is build the Idea Collective where people can engage with each other 24/7 to help build their small businesses. Got that. Have daily live events where people can get targeted help and ideas and support. Okay, we're doing that. How do we take it to the next level? Let's create more educational opportunities. That's what we're doing with Brand Crafted, now Idea Collective Night School. Thanks to my partnership with, I don't know if I can do it, right here, Bank 59, we've got free night schools all year long. So we are going to show off really smart people teaching you small business content that you need to know to improve your craft. So it's kind of a really cool thing to help you get better at being a small business owner. So Sarah Bauer from Heartland Payment Systems, she's our first Idea Collective Night School for 2021, January 20th from 6 to 8 p.m. That's the event, January 20th. 6 to 8 p.m., we're going to talk pricing, selling, and closing. Pricing, selling, and closing. So if you want to get better at those three things, and who doesn't? Hello, money. Make sure that you get in on this event. And it's really easy to get in. Like I say, we're not buying tickets. It's just reserving your spot. So see on the screen right now, text the word school to 414-240-1315. That's 414-240-1315. Reserve your spot inside Night School. And what's neat is we're going to do the same kind of concept that we're doing now for Night School. 6 to 7 p.m. We'll do a show just like this so it can be broadcast all around the world. And then we'll get together for networking and reflection in the after party. So it's very similar to this, but it's going to be an entire show focused on pricing, selling, and closing. So text that number now and you can join us for Night School. We've got events planned all year long like this. It's going to be fantastic. All right. A big thanks to Benny Pekala from Virtual United for coming on, sharing their origin story, showing us some exciting things about his software. Congratulations to Andy and Tess and Evan and Zell and Ken for launching Antidote Media Group. Thanks to everybody that came on today to do the instant networking. And of course, a special shout out to number 5, Jennifer Buchholz. She's producing the call, the ultimate connector in my business BFF. I saw you flip me off. I see you flipping me off. No one else can see you flipping me off. That was, I might make you number 6 now, not number 5. I'm not sure if I like that very much. This is the Idea Collective Live. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel before you head out, or subscribe on whatever platform you're watching right now. I'm Pat Miller, the Idea Coach. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you at the after party or right here next Monday at 3 o'clock on Idea Collective Live. Bye-bye, everybody.